All right, hello and welcome into Hawkeye Headquarters Weekly podcast. Evan Denton alongside Joel Keller. Joel, the vibes in Iowa City right now are immaculate because Iowa came from 21-10 down to beat Penn State 25-24. Seemed like a season-defining win, if you will.
Yeah, playoff still in the picture.
Still in the picture. There's a path.
That was kind of the buzz all after the game. Hey, we're not dead yet.
They're very much still in the thick of the Big Ten title game race as well, with just one conference loss. The black and gold stripe out was amazing. Everyone knew the assignment. That was probably the loudest I've heard Kinnick Stadium all year for the final night game against Penn State. Obviously a very noteworthy opponent, but Iowa made it count.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what you expect when Penn State comes to town. Mm-hmm. It's like not technically a rivalry, but It's like as close as you can get without it being one. And even with Penn State coming in with all the noise and stuff, it's still a big game. You all know that. We mentioned it, like they still have all this NFL talent, and the crowd was bringing it all night long. It was great.
No, I agree. Penn State, got to give them their props. I mean, no starting quarterback, James Franklin, that distraction, and they were ready to play from the opening kickoff. And for the first, I would say, 40 minutes of the game, it was theirs to lose. But then they did not lose the game. Iowa actually won the game, and a big part of that is the guy over my shoulder right here, Mark Gronowski. He only had 68 passing yards, but he had 130 yards on the ground, a career high for him. He showed he is poised, and he is a proven winner.
Yeah, that is like the one thing the biggest thing I took from this game is Mark Gronowski is a competitor, and he's showing us, again, like we've mentioned a few times, but why Iowa went and got him for fill in the blank, how much money it costs to get him, probably 7 figures, right? So, I mean, he's a winner, competitor, makes the right plays. I'm happy he went down when he broke free in that final play. Because, Kirk Ferentz brought it up the week before. He brought up the game against Minnesota a couple of years ago where LaShawn Daniels didn't go down, and it made for a dramatic finish. So, that him going down saved me a lot of nerves and you walk out of there with the 1-point win.
I mean, he's got the long hair, the headband, the swagger is there. We talked about it earlier this year. He has aura, and just leaving Kinnick Stadium, you can see that the fan base is completely behind him. They're finally saying, we have our quarterback. That hasn't been the case for the last couple of years. Caden McNamara, Deacon Hill. But I believe the black and gold faithful are all behind Mark Gronowski.
Yeah, it's been a decade, really, since the Iowa fans have had a quarterback where they're like, yes, like he can get us to where we want to be. Because even with, like, we look back now and it's like, okay, Nate Stanley was a solid quarterback. He did a lot of good things. But during that era, everyone was kind of like, all right, like he needs to be more accurate. Just always like something was not right about the game. And I think Gronowski, for the first time since Beathard, we're like, okay, like he's going to get us to where we need to be no matter what. He's going to compete. He's going to go out there and get the W, not just game manage, but make the plays to win.
Iowa's playoff chances are not dead yet. Isn't that a wild statement to make after what we saw maybe just 2, if not 3 weeks ago against Indiana? And they are playing arguably their best ball. We'll get to that in a little bit. But in front of Gronowski, you have the offensive line. And they are a legitimate contender to win the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the country. Once again, paving big-time holes for both Gronowski and Kamari Moulton.
Yeah, this offensive line is just it's insane. I mean, you got 3 seniors who are two borderline first-round picks, the other one for sure getting drafted.
Right.
And the best part about it is you have depth. They're talking about, like, you need people to fill in the spots, right? For the last couple of years, we've had, like, maybe, like, 1 or 2 guys who are really good, but now it's, like, I honestly think 1 to, like, 7 or 8 could be starters on this team. And that's really nice to have, where if one does go down, you can fill in with another body, and they're going to get the job done. They're going to open up the holes for Kamari Moulton, for McNeil, Williams, for Gronowski.
You think about it, they were playing Penn State, who was considered one of the defensive end universities across the country, and they were moving them off the ball. Kamari Moulton had a few longer runs. Obviously, Gronowski had a couple of very long runs. But that all starts with the blocking up front, and I've been very impressed so far this year by the Iowa offensive line.
Yeah, and they don't allow too many pressures, and kind of, I mean, when they do allow a pressure, it's more, it's not like they go in untouched, and it's hard for Gronowski to escape. It's like a a slow burning pressure, if you will. And Gronowski's got the time to move out of the pocket and try and find a play or just throw it away.
Absolutely. Another star that's kind of emerging, I would say, is Kamari Moulton. He was going to be running back 1 coming into the year, but then he gets hurt in the opener against Albany. There was never going to be a Caleb Johnson 2.0. That was just arguably impossible to replace. But he's really been picking up steam the last couple of weeks and looking like a lead back for Iowa moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think this is kind of what we expected from Kamari Moulton this year. The injury kind of set him back. Yeah. You saw him kind of find that groove a little bit before the bye week, a little bit against Wisconsin, but now he's got – I think he's just got the confidence of the game reps, and now he's going out there and just doing his thing, doing what we expected, using his speed. He's more moving east and west than Caleb Johnson was.
Right.
So, like you said, not going to be quite the same, but – he's doing real good, and I mean 1 yard away from 3 figures. I mean, it's tough.
99 yards on 17 carries. Yeah, he was just that close. I was reading a stat that Iowa has rushed for over 200 yards in 4 different games so far this year. You think about just getting that kind of running production, just how it really opens up. Eventually, knock on wood, the passing game downfield.
Yeah, and it makes me think of the meme that goes around on Twitter, like. It's like, 300 passing yards, 200 passing yards, and it's a good thing. And then it's like 200 rushing yards, and it's like, oh, this offense sucks. Like,
right.
No. 200 yards, any way you look at it from one part of the offense is really good. And that's just Iowa's MO, Run the ball. The offensive line is going to destroy you, open up the holes, and somehow come out with a win.
I mean, look at the final score, 25-24. There's a stat going around that since 2020, all right, when Iowa scores 21 points or more in a game, they are 37-1. 37-1. It's mind-boggling that a number that's relatively small in football scores, if you will, that's the magic number for Iowa. If they can get to 21 points somehow, some way, they're in the driver's seat to win that game.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. And you're exactly like 21 points, especially in college football. Right. Teams are putting up 21 in like a quarter. So if they can just get to 21, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's got to be the focus, right? Mm-hmm. Every week to get to 21. Really, like 25 has been like the prime number in past years. That was like the Brian Ferentz number. Yeah. And to see Iowa now, like, I guess they've dropped back below 30 with this game, but to be hovering around 30, right. I mean, there's a reason why this Iowa team, why people are holding on hope for playoff hopes. It's because they look a lot better than a lot of these other teams that are ranked in the top 25 that I've seen, because they can put up points and they don't allow too many.
Right. Are you shocked that Iowa's not ranked right now?
I am, honestly. I think it's about to. I mean, you lose to a healthy Iowa State team, which when they're healthy completely, they're borderline playoff. They're contending in the Big 12, and then you lose to the number 2 team in the nation by just a couple of points. Like, how is that not a ranked team?
And obviously, if Gronowski does not go down, that's arguably a win for Iowa. And they're obviously ranked at that point. But no, I agree with you. I'm shocked that there's not a ranked number next to Iowa's name right now. But maybe with a win over Minnesota on Saturday, that will change.
Yeah. No, and your point there, it could have been a win. It's like, so you have us unranked 5-2. Let's say it's 6-1 with a win against Indiana. Where do you put Iowa? To me, that's saying that they're like around number 20 or 15, whereas like one loss against the Indiana team that's beaten who they beat should be a top 10 team, should be a playoff team technically. But that's not our job.
Nope, we are not a part of the ranking committee. We don't pretend to be. We're just reporting on it. Let's go to the defensive side for a second. A guy who had a major comeback game is Deshaun Lee. All right, he's gotten a lot of publicity, good and bad, online for how the Indiana game ended with a missed tackle against Elijah Surratt. And he's had some trouble in other games, maybe Rutgers. But he bounces back against Penn State, an incredible diving interception that to this day, I'm not quite sure how he got a foot down.
I've watched that replay like countless times. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how it got overturned. I mean, that play is just
full extension and everything. We'll take it. Take it and run with it. But then he also had the game-clinching pass breakup on the final Penn State drive. And you could just see the excitement coming out of his emotion. The sideline was excited for him. Good for him for being able to bounce back.
Yeah, and having this big game too, I think, that what that pick did was up his confidence. Then he makes that play, and you see him like kind of like feeling like himself out there, looking like he belongs. And for a cornerback, what a corner's known for, like talking trash,
Right.
like thinking they're the best, because you got to when you're out on an island every play of the game. So, if he's got this confidence now, are we going to see a different Deshaun Lee this second half of the year? I hope so. That'd be really big for the secondary.
I think the word you used there is confidence. We were at media availability last Tuesday, and Kirk Ferentz has been praising Deshaun Lee for just being always ready to go and his commitment to his training. So having your head coach believe in you like that, I'm sure that's got to be a major confidence boost for him.
Oh, yeah, especially someone like Kirk who's coached all these Jim Thorpe Award winners and stuff. So, it seems like he's doing his job getting Deshaun Lee ready to go, and Deshaun Lee showing out this game.
Yeah. And joining Deshaun Lee in the defensive backfield is, of course, Xavier Wampa. Came in with sky-high expectations out of Southeast Polk here in Iowa. Took a little bit of time for him to grow into those expectations, but against Penn State on Saturday, had arguably his best game. He had double-digit tackles, an interception, and a forced fumble.
Yeah, the interception was crazy, a little tip drill, and it had been a while since he had gotten his. And what he said in player availability was, you just got to be in the right spot for it. And he's like, I haven't been in the right spot, but I'm doing my best to be in the right spot. And there he was at a perfect time in the game to get an interception too, able to make the play. So shout out to him. And I think you could really just throw in the entire secondary here. Like Entringer had a really good game.
He did.
Especially with the run defense, getting into the backfield, which is important for a safety, to be able to play on all sides of the defense there. So it was a phenomenal game from the defense. They played well.
Xavier Wampa was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. He now has the same number of interceptions this year as names including Aaron Graves and Bryce Hawthorne. So a very notable group right there.
Yeah, I think I had that on my bingo card.
The one downside from the Penn State game that I want to get your take on, they tried a 66-yard field goal right before halftime with Drew Stevens, all right? And anyone who watches football knows that the further back you try a field goal, it's going to come off, not get as high off the ground, which makes it easier to be blocked. What was your thought when you saw them try a 66-yard field goal against Penn State?
So first, I was excited. I was like, okay, this guy's got a boot. Like, let's see if he can do it. Like, it's aggressive, but sure, love it. Let's get some points, get within one at halftime. Or I guess that was to extend the lead before. Yeah, so then they called the timeout.
Yep.
Stevens gets a kickoff, and it is, to be nice, like 5 yards short.
You're being generous, but yes.
Probably like 10 or 15. And then I was like, okay, you saw it. Maybe he's holding back a little bit, but he missed by too much. You punt the ball.
Right.
And so I was already like, okay, trying to kick it. I don't really agree with that. And then it just like got worse and worse very quickly. So love the idea, but when you see it and you see him not get close enough, the confidence there, the shift, and just like one quick little play for Drew Stevens drops a ton too, and then it ends up getting blocked and into that whole thing. So
a massive momentum moment, in my opinion, going from, all right, you're up at halftime to now you're trailing, and then Penn State gets the ball first, and they score first in the second half. Kirk Ferentz in his postgame press conference was very emotional about that moment, saying that he knew that after it happened, he let his team down, and the last thing Kirk ever wants to do is let his team down. And you could see that that moment meant a lot to him, but he's so happy that his team was able to rally and get the win because he felt as if he let them down. So, yeah, I was not a fan of the field goal initially, and then when Drew Stevens tried it, it was very short. I'm like, okay, you either do a Hail Mary, punt the ball, don't try a kick. Only bad things can happen, and sure enough, the worst case scenario happened. But hey, we're here talking about an Iowa win, so it wasn't the end-all, be-all.
You know what they say, it's easier to learn from a win than a loss.
Absolutely.
So as long as they learned from it, we're good.
So is Iowa, in your opinion, playing its best ball of the year? They've won 2 straight games. They are forcing turnovers consistently. They got a confident quarterback, and they're winning the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, I think since that Indiana game, this has been the best Iowa team I've seen in a while. Even those Big Ten championship appearances, I think those teams might fall short to this Iowa team just because the offense. They're scoring points against good teams. Granted, they didn't score a ton against Indiana, but they scored enough to put themselves in position to win against arguably like the best defense in college football. I mean, they're right up there with Georgia and all the teams that you're used to seeing up there. So, and then Penn State, again, good team, able to get the job done, and 5-2, pretty good so far.
I think back in week one of your predictions was that Iowa was going to beat either Penn State or Oregon. So props to you for calling that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Penn State would be where they are right now, but yeah, I'll take it. But let's see if I can be wrong and let's see if Iowa can take both of them down, because Oregon's looked a little beatable over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to a new segment called Iowa Starting Five. It's in honor of Netflix's series Starting Five that follows around 5 of the top NBA players for their day-to-day lives and how they get ready for games. But we're going to talk about more than just football or basketball. If you could pick your starting 5 of current Iowa athletes or within the past 5 years that you would want to do a day-in-the-life documentary about, who would you pick?
Well, number 1, Caitlin Clark.
There we go.
For sure. Yep. I think shared that one correct.
Yes, we did.
I mean, who wouldn't want to see what the greatest player of all time does on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. I would want to see just if she's able to walk to class in a reasonable amount of time, or if she has to leave like an hour and a half early because she has to take so many pictures and autographs just to get to, say, her 9:30 a.m. class on a Tuesday. But just seeing how she and that Iowa team helped to build up women's basketball, not only here in Iowa, but across the country. I mean, she was a nationwide phenomenon.
Yeah, and to get like looks at like practice and stuff, because Lisa Bluter, she was big about becoming a team, like becoming more than a team actually, like more of like a family, and they would always do like the circles after, like just to be in there to hear some of the conversations, what's going on would be really cool too, especially when you have someone like Caitlin Clark on the team.
And the whole crossover at Kinnick, you have the 2 trips to the national title game, obviously, the Naismith Player of the Year awards a couple times. I mean, she is her. Like, let's be honest. She was an absolute great person to watch, to film, to interview. And so I agree with you on that first pick. Who was number 2 for you?
I think Jennings Dunker.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gone a little viral with his eating habits. And I'm like, just to be around him for a day, like actually see like what his day looks like would be really fun to watch, especially the eating part. Like, is he like prepping every meal,
right?
Or is he going out for a couple? Like what is he getting like 2 big meals in before noon? Like, man,
could you imagine having the same diet as a Big Ten offensive lineman?
I don't know how I'd live. Yeah. I want to be able to finish all the food that they eat.
It's just nonstop eating, but it's all muscle with him. I mean, he is massive.
Yeah, no, that's also true. Like, I want to see what it's like when he's getting after it in the weight room, because I'm sure he's getting pretty hyped up in there.
Yep. All right, so my number 2, I'm going to women's wrestling. All right, Kennedy Blades. I just won a national championship. She's also an Olympic medalist, and we've seen it not only here in Iowa but around the country. Women's wrestling and girls wrestling is taking off at a very quick rate. And so I would want to get her point of view about helping more or less be a trailblazer for women's wrestling and what it means to her to see her sport expanding at such a quick rate.
Yeah, and she's quickly become a fan favorite too. And she, for good reason, she's like a showman. She's finishing matches in like 15 seconds. So, I mean, she's really fun to watch, and she's electric and a trailblazer. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to see the day-to-day.
Absolutely. All right, number 3. Who do you got?
Spencer Petras.
Okay.
Oh.
Why? I'm curious about this one.
So that time when he was the starting quarterback was just so polarizing. It's like, I want to see what he's like after a game when they're getting booed off the field after even a win. Like, get in the mind of this guy he was basically my age now, like 23, and he's dealing with all this hate from the outside, but still getting wins on the field. And just to see like how he's dealing with it, like who he's going to, what are the conversations being had in there, I think would be really cool.
So when I moved to Iowa, that was his senior year. And like you said, they were getting booed off the field. That being said, though, I have a lot of respect for him because he stood up at every single post-game presser and answered every question.
Every single one.
Every single question. He did not dodge any of them, and he took the brunt of an offense led by Brian Ferentz that did not produce many points. But I have a lot of respect for him for the way he stepped up as a leader, in my opinion, and answered every question. So I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. And, his arm talent was actually kind of there. It was like just a lot of fact. Like Brian Ferentz's offense of strategy, the O-line was probably in the worst spot it's been in my entire life.
Right.
So a lot of things not going his way, and he stood there and he took it all.
So this starting five goes back 5 years, and because of that, I have a different Spencer on my list. Spencer Lee, all right? A 3-time NCAA champion. I did some research. He never lost inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. So when that place was sold out for men's wrestling, if they went to go watch Spencer Lee, Iowa fans were leaving there seeing a victory from him. That is mind-boggling to me. Just never losing at home once. He was also a 3-time Big Ten Wrestler of the Year, and obviously he won an Olympic medal. In a state that cares so much about wrestling, he was a superstar. I want to see how often he got recognized walking to class in Iowa City, and just how much of a superhero and I guess a superstar he was on campus. That'd be interesting to me.
Yeah, especially he's a short dude.
Yeah.
So, is he able to hide in the crowds a little bit? But also it would be really fun to see is his prep when he had those 2 torn ACLs and still going off and winning a championship. What all went into him being able to get out on the mat.
Yeah. No, he was different on the mat, and he has found a spot in Iowa wrestling history.
Yeah, he's on the wrestling Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to number 4. What do you have?
All right, number 4, back into the quarterback spot. Okay. Mark Gronowski.
Okay.
I want to what is he's a grad transfer. What are his classes like? Classes. No, but I mean to be put in the stress. It'd be fun to see a 2-parter Cade's years and then Gronowski, because to be put in the stress of you are the savior of Hawkeye, you're turning around this offense. How is he embracing it? What are the similarities and differences to when Cade McNamara came on campus? Obviously, Cade had the big injury that ended his season, but before that, they both were a little banged up in the summer, and then you come out and you have to perform. The expectation is you're going to be throwing the ball around the field. So just to get into the mind of that, seeing what it's like to take over a program, I think that'd be really fun to watch.
Especially right after the Iowa State loss. I mean, Iowa was 1-1 at that point. People are saying, okay, we have this quarterback, but we're not allowing him to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Why is he our guy? And since that game, even though with the loss to Indiana, he's really responded and answered all those questions. So, yeah, I see what you're saying there. He's not on my list, though. This is the name that you brought up a while back. It might have been on outside this podcast, but I thought, you know what? Joel's making a good point. Dion Van Oslem on the Iowa field hockey team, all right? The leading goal scorer for Iowa this year, but she's from the Netherlands, all right? So I think the whole idea of trying to learn a new culture, hundreds if not thousands of miles away from home, and you are the star player on that team. How do you learn a new culture and just be able to ingrain yourself in the team and be a leader in a couple of years?
Yeah, that'd be really cool too, because I believe it was her freshman year too when they ended up beating Northwestern and becoming number 1 in the nation for a couple of weeks, and she was a big part of that. Still is. She had a little bit of a sophomore slump last year, but this year she's right back at it. I was at a game 2 weekends ago, 2 goals from her. So I mean, she's special, and especially to see someone who's a star at that level in a smaller sport in Iowa, where not that many people probably even know that it exists on campus. It'd be cool to see the difference from her and then Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Just the idea of her being able to, Dion being able to walk down the street in Iowa City and have no one recognize her, just be the silent superstar. I feel like she would like that. I have not spoken to her personally, so I can't speak for her, but I just feel like that'd be kind of cool just to be able to camouflage, if you will.
Yeah, no one in this class knows that I'm actually one of the best at the game, right? It'd be cool. When they ask for you guys have a fun detail, a little fun fact about your life. Oh, I score a lot of goals. I'm one of the best in the league. Just throw that out there casually.
Yeah. Very humble brag.
Yeah.
All right. So There's a fifth spot now for the
Mhm.
starting five. Who gets your last spot?
So I think I'm going to try and stretch the rules if that's all right
Okay.
and go coach.
Oh, okay. I like it.
But I want to see Ben McCollum's life because, you could even look just at Iowa. Like, he is like the most social coach I think Hawkeye Athletics has had in a while. Like, he's out with the students all the time. You always see clips of him interacting, trying to get people to care more about the program, and he's doing a really good job of it.
Right.
But I think back to even last year when he was at Drake, I read an article, and it's like you got all these top coaches that go to him for their X's and O's. And it's like, okay, so this guy has to be a mastermind. He must spend a lot of time like watching tape and stuff. So how does he balance both? And then like on top of that, he's got like a family as well.
He does.
It's like he's got a lot of things going on. When does the dude sleep?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about stretching it out to coaches. If Ben McCollum wins games early, that program is going to get so much energy and excitement from the local fan base. I think he's the right guy.
Yeah. The noise is crazy right now, and it's all positive. People are hyped up about this team.
If I had to pick a coach, I think I would say Lisa Bluter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be the head coach of the women's basketball team when Caitlin Clark, the best player in your program history, is on campus, just the way she managed that spotlight for the entire program and really helped to bring up the, I guess, more or less backup dancers, if you will, like the Kate Mards, the Abby Marshalls, the McKenna Warnocks, Monica Zanano. Just the way she helped the team embrace the moment and not run from it. I think Lisa Bluter would be my coach on the starting five. The person that I picked, though, is Jack Campbell. You think about the quintessential Iowa linebacker, captain, the person that people have looked to over the years. I think Cohen Entriger said earlier this year that when he was named a captain, he thought about Jack Campbell and the way that he carries himself, and he wanted to be just like Jack. He had 43 starts, over 300 career tackles, and now he's doing big things for the Detroit Lions in the NFL. And just from being around him, he's very humble. And he could have been a very cocky individual because his talent is that good. But no, he's very down to earth. So I would say Jack Campbell. Is there someone that you left off of your list that nearly made the top five, starting five?
I would think back to maybe like the women's basketball team with Caitlin. Maybe. I think I like your idea with Bluter. I think that'd be really cool. But maybe also like a Kate Martin or like a Gabby Marshall, someone who's like also like a big piece of that team, but maybe isn't getting as much of the spotlight too. To see like what's up, or even like Hannah Stolke with her 45-point game.
Right.
Like she got her name known that game, but the rest of the season she still played really well, but she was just kind of drowned out from the Caitlin Clark noise, which understandably so.
Yeah. I think the one name that I considered putting on the starting five, he is Iowa men's basketball's leading scorer, Luka Garza. From an outside point of view, he gets buckets. I don't know much about him personally, so just figuring out and learning more about his day-to-day, because like I said, I don't really know anything about Luka Garza besides the fact that he's the all-time leading scorer at Iowa. Does he have a fun personality? Is he funny? Is he just down to the ground, serious all the time? I have a lot of questions about Luka Garza, so he was almost my fifth spot in the starting five.
Yeah, that'd be good. And he does have just outstandingly like effort, a lot of effort in his practices with his dad too. Like, I mean, they grind all the time. You see all these like off-season workouts. He's soaked in sweat. It is the craziest thing. But I would agree. I think watching a documentary on Luka Garza would be a lot of fun, especially those like final couple of years. Impacted a little bit with like COVID and. Yep. I still stand to this day. That was the best basketball team that Iowa's had in my lifetime. Just couldn't see it come to fruition. That's the Sweet 16 team that could have kept Fran around.
And we are right around the corner of Iowa men's and women's basketball tipping off this year. So it's all about bowl prediction time for both squads. Let's start with the women's team. Joel, what is your bowl prediction for them?
They're ranked in the top 25. So I don't know how bold this is, but I think they're going to really take off again this year. They're going to get back into the Sweet 16. I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the Elite Eight. But I expect them to go pretty far in the tournament as well, the Big Ten tournament. I think they'll be a top 3 team in the Big Ten. I mean, I really like how it's all coming together. It seems like they got all the right pieces, not just to match styles of game, but also good personalities on the team. It seems like one of those Iowa teams that we're accustomed to seeing since 2020.
Elite Eight, that's a bold statement there. If you would have just said Sweet 16, I'd be like, come on, Joel, you got to be more bold than that. But you said Elite Eight, so that's one game away from the Final Four, so I respect that. There's been a lot of buzz, obviously, about Hannah Stuelke being the number one option, players like Addie Deal, Kylie Fierbach. I think the leading scorer this year for Iowa is going to be a transfer, Emily Rodriguez. All right. She averaged just under 12 points a game last year at UCF, but I think teams are going to try to double Hannah Stuelke early and often. Addie Deal, there might be a freshman wall initially. So that's going to lead up to more opportunities for this wing player, Emily Rodriguez. And I think she's going to capitalize on it. So my statement is she's going to average 15 points a game and be Iowa's leading scorer. Thoughts on that?
You know, when you first said it, I was like, oh, no way. But now it's like, you know, there's a lot of points that it's kind of like up in the air to be scored from the 1 and the 2 spot. Right. And yeah, I could see if she can get that 3 ball down, if she's hitting it consistent this year, I would agree. I think that's definitely possible.
I guess my backup bold statement might not be too bold, is that Kylie Fierbach wins Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
I like that. I mean, she said she's up in the ante on defense. Yeah. This is like the only way you can go up is to like win Big Ten Defensive Player.
I mean, she often guards the other team's best perimeter player on defense, and I think that she's going to get the recognition and respect that she deserves on the defensive end, and so she'll be in the conversation.
Yeah. I think Addie Deal, maybe Freshman Player of the Year in the Big Ten, could also be thrown in there as well.
Okay. Let's go to the men's team now. What is your bold prediction for year 1 for Ben McCollum?
I could see this go like really good or really bad, right? But bold prediction, I think Bennett Sturtz wins Big Ten Player of the Year.
Okay.
I think he's not like an elite player. He is an elite player, but I think he's also getting helped out by a Big Ten that doesn't, for what seems like another year, doesn't really have that number 1 guy that in the national competition.
I would argue Braden Smith over at Purdue might be in that conversation for Big Ten, if not National Player of the Year.
I think you're right. I just don't think he's quite like National Player of the Year contender. Okay. I think him and Sturtz are kind of like near the same level, where they're elite players, but they aren't quite like putting themselves out in front of like everyone else in college basketball.
Yeah.
So I think Sturtz does have a pretty good shot at doing it, and you know, if he just does what he did at Drake, with probably a better supporting cast around him, another year of experience under his belt, why not? He could probably go out there and score 25-plus points per game.
Does Iowa finish in the top 5 of the Big Ten, in your opinion, in year 1 for McCollum?
I think they'll be a couple spots away from that.
Yeah.
I think they'll still get a bye. How does it work now? Is it?
I think this year
4 double bye, 4 bye, and then 4 have to play in round 1.
So now every team is making it, not just the top 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think they'll be in between. They'll be outside the top 5, but they'll be within the top 9, top 8. I think.
The preseason Big Ten media poll had Iowa at number 8, so that's kind of right on with what you were saying.
Yeah, I saw someone put Iowa at like 4 or something. I think that's bold. That's a bold take.
Well, this might be even more bold then.
Oh boy.
McCollum magic is no joke. All right. It's been a long time since Iowa made it to the Sweet 16. That changes in March of 2026.
Wow.
Iowa is making it to the second weekend of March Madness. They're going to the Sweet 16 for the first time in the 21st century. I believe in Ben McCollum, his energy. Bennett Sturtz is going to be the catalyst for this team. The Drake player transfers are for real. I have a lot of confidence in this pick.
So why not Elite Eight?
You know, that's a very good follow-up question. I think just the idea of getting to the Sweet 16 will be enough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure McCollum doesn't want to hear that because he wants to win every game. But I think just getting to that point will put a lot of belief into this program going forward. And I'm not that bold to put Elite Eight on it quite yet. But if they get there, I will applaud and say you all proved me wrong.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, you're definitely right. Sweet 16 is like honestly more than enough for Hawkeye fans to get behind him. I think even if he makes it to the round of 32 and they lose, as long as he does it where it's not like Iowa sneaks in as a 10 seed and pulls off an upset against the 7th. If it's a legit second round team, I think Hawkeye fans will really buy in the year after. But Sweet 16, I mean, I don't know what Iowa City will be like if they make it to the Sweet 16. It might almost be like a natty.
I mean, they start off against Robert Morris on November 4th. They have a tough non-conference game against Xavier.
That'll be a
the
good
Big
tell.
East. That'll be a very telling test because Xavier is a very physical team.
Yep.
Is Iowa made to be physical enough in year one under McCollum? We'll have to wait and see for that. But a lot of exciting time ahead for both the men's and women's basketball teams.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. It's like, man, my mind's still set in football season. Like, right, like we were talking about like playoff hopes still out there, like a lot of big games being played. But by the time that working game is played, we'll already have a couple of games down for both the men's and women's teams. So it's kind of crazy how it's all kind of overlapping, and we're going to have all these big games coming up. It's going to be a fun November and December to be a Hawk fan, to say the least.
It is the best time in sports, in my opinion. You've got football in the swing of things. You've got basketball starting up, and baseball is ending. Baseball is ending. I am not a baseball guy. Joel here is a massive Dodgers fan.
Let's go.
And they're back in the World Series.
Hopefully.
Wearing your Dodger blue. I just realized that.
This is Carolina blue. Dodger blue is a little darker, more like royal almost, but like a little like deeper than a royal. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. So putting you on the spot, I mean, you are a Dodgers fan. Do they win a second straight World Series? And if so, in how many games?
Okay. Like knock on wood, not going to jinx it. If I had to make an analytical decision, Dodgers are winning 5 games probably.
In a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And honestly, like I don't know which one the Blue Jays take. It's just a starting pitching for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's so dominant. I mean, the Brewers stood no chance because of it. And it's not like the Dodgers scored a lot of runs, but if Ohtani's back, it's going like it did in Game 4.
Unreal.
Who knows? maybe they do just sweep their way to another ring.
I mean, I'm not a baseball guy, but I don't want to see a sweep in the World Series. I want to see the Blue Jays get 1, if not 2.
I want to see the Dodgers win a World Series in like Game 7. Like I saw Game 6 against the Rays in 2020, and that was really fun. But the Yankees gentleman's sweep, like Game 5. Don't get me wrong, really really fun. Like it's an amazing moment. But, I mean, Game 1, obviously, with the walk-off grand slam, that stole the show for me. There's the most exciting win of the year.
Yeah.
And I would love to see, like, a Game 7, though, with, like, big moments like that. You know, maybe not a walk-off. That might be too much to ask. But let's get it back and forth. Game 7, let's see someone pull out some heroics in a win or go home type of game.
That might have to be an emergency podcast if the Dodgers win the World Series. All right, so let's go back to football for a second. Iowa's taking on Minnesota. Can Iowa win a non-night game for the first time this year?
This would be the game to do it.
Yeah.
I would have been way more confident before last week. But I do like that Minnesota is coming into Kinnick. BJ Fleck has said some interesting things about playing in Kinnick, both good and bad. I'll never forget when he kind of dissed Kinnick after the Cooper DeJean fiasco, where he said something along the lines like, people always say like it's hard to win here, and
we just did
we're able to get it done. Like, Minnesota on the road makes me more confident. If the Hawks were going up to Minnesota like Nebraska did last week, I'd be a little scared because they played really really well against Nebraska. They controlled that entire game.
So both teams are 3-1 coming into this game. It is obviously a trophy game, and Iowa wants to keep it here in Iowa City. Have you fully gotten over the Cooper DeJean fair catch yet?
I don't think I ever will. I was there as a student for that game, and that was the second big, like, most fun play as a student behind Nico Ragaini's touchdown against Penn State.
Right.
That Cooper DeJean return, it was like you're hugging random people, like everyone's like falling over each other in this is a section, like going nuts. And then like to see the flag on the field and you're just like, what? Like, and to hear the call, it's like all we ever saw on the big screen was it's below the shoulder. Obviously he's pointing at the ball saying like it's on the, like whatever that word is on the ground. And for it to get called back, people were losing their minds. They were throwing stuff on the field, and it was the craziest like turn of emotions I think I'll ever have. And I'll always stand. It was not a fair catch. It wasn't even
close.
It wasn't even a signal. Punt returners do that all the time when it's on the field. Right. When it hits the ground in front of them, they're pointing out and they're yelling like, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" Like, and then he saw a hole somehow with like 4 Gophers in front of him, saw a hole and was like, I'm taking it.
Caden Weegan said at media availability that to this day, some referees even joke with him about on the field, like, hey, you all have had some issues with fair catches in the past. He's like, I don't want to joke about that.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, if I were Legion, I wouldn't take that as well. Like,
No.
I saw the same clip. And, props to him for handling it like like a grown up. I'd walk out, just not even talk to that ref at that point. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. No, well, this is a must win for Iowa if they want to stay in the Big Ten race. Game is at 2:30 on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. Alongside Joel Keller, Evan Dunn for Hawkeye Headquarters Weekly Podcast.